4 cards. Good luck. I'm not sure why sometimes my Google Hangouts goes, I give up, but it seems to be still recording, so cool.
Oh,
cool.
Oh, well, rags to riches.
So anybody who has not a cards, discards those and draws a like number of cards from the deck.
Nope.
I'm gonna... Oh, okay, once you're done. I have a discard card that I'm gonna play it straight away.
Is it a fucking one of those Spark of Divinities? Because, you know.
No.
That's your normal thing.
Discard as many as you want and before your hand.
Ah.
Does anyone want a victory prestige mod or just toss it too early?
Too early.
Too early.
Okay.
It's about as early as you can get in the game.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna refill my hand. I'll leave the refill on top. Just okay. The discard on top.
That's a good call.
Another victory prestige, okay. Cool.
It'd be nothing better than having everybody with 4 victories and no card movement at the beginning of the game. It's like, if we can hold on to this. Logan, we don't want any cards at all.
Cool.
Good done.
So,
Rare.
You guys are hanging out at the embassy. Guards come in, look, and go. There's 2 of them. One's like, he's not McKay, and the other one's like, yes, he is. And so they go outside to argue.
I thought we filled them all in already.
Oh, yeah, you totally did.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Some
these
of them
are
still
guards.
confused.
Guards. Or guards. Right? I mean,
yeah.
I was gonna say, if you're paid to literally stand around for 8 hours in one place, not ask a lot of questions, and try to keep watch, chances are you're not, like, you know, over the top, clever, motivated, etc. So, you know, you need a certain personality type to just literally stand there and guard stuff.
Joshua, did you discuss the blue-white gems with Doc by any chance when you last saw him?
Yep.
And?
I told him they were in the embassy, and he said, no race.
So...
You can see a babe starting to pulse on Freddy.
I'm not sure what else there is to discuss. They're
I mean, can we sell them? Are they just like...
Well, no,
forever?
because if they were for anyone, they would have stated that on the equipment list. They didn't.
Well,
they stated it was only theirs, so therefore it's only theirs. Feel free to bring it up on the bulletin board if you...
I will. I thought you were going to do that.
No.
Alright, fine, don't worry.
Why would I do that?
I mean, okay.
It's so much money, Freddy. So much money.
It's literally like $1 million, but okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, I have a few questions for you, Joshua, before we go out doing whatever. And since you... Yeah?
Okay.
Since you and Doc are the only 2 people who can potentially answer this, I thought I'd ask you before I forget, like I normally do. So, first question. What is the pen, specifically?
What do you mean by specifically? As in...
What is it? Like, is it an entity? Is it a universal energy force? What
yes.
No?
I might be able to answer some of those questions too.
Oh, please.
Yeah. Go for it, Steve.
But he puts his mute on, so fuck you, right?
There's various theories. It's some of it's mythological, so it's hard to say. Like, you've got supposedly at the creation of time, at the beginning of time, chaos, etc. You got the serpent. The Logos was either that create either the serpent created the Logris or was created from the Logris. The eye of the serpent was stolen. That is what the Jewel of Judgment is. It's the eye of the serpent, and it was then used by someone from the Courts of Chaos to create the pattern. So you've got on Chaos is Logris is at one extreme, and then you've got the pattern at the other extreme, which is like order. Doesn't necessarily mean good. It's not good or evil. That's the thing about it.
It's about
they're not
balance.
good and evil. It's balance, yeah. And between them, they create worlds. So the closer you get to Logris, the more chaotic the worlds tend to be. The closer you get to the pattern doesn't necessarily mean the more orderly they are, though. I mean, it means that they will obey certain laws and stuff, but it doesn't mean that everybody there is going to be lawful good, to use a D&D and anthology. It just means that... So, and then the various worlds lie in between. There's
so
indications
the pattern is like what? The Force in Star Wars kind of thing?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Think of it like weights. So on one end of the spectrum you have chaos, which is one weight, and on the other end of the spectrum you have pattern, which is another weight. And the two have to kind of balance out, otherwise the universes will tilt one direction or the other, right? Okay. And the reason, so the closer you get to pattern, it's not more orderly, but you can establish laws that or rules that will function. So it allows you to create a stable foundation or a stable platform in which to operate day to day, basically. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have chaos, which is basically you can't count on anything. So, and the universe is a giant scale. So basically, the pattern and chaos kind of even out the universe. And the more there is on one, or if there's a disruption in either one, then the universes fall out of alignment.
So is the pattern and chaos, are they like conscious entities, or are they just...
There's indications that they are. Sorry.
It's to a degree, right? I think the theories say that it is not that they are independent, but that they contain a consciousness of sorts that from a creator or whatever.
Possibly, but there's the thing about them creating, for example, the pattern creating ghost, doppelgangers of people that have walked the pattern and sending them out to do stuff. We've encountered several pattern doppelgangers of ourselves, looking for when the Jewel of Judgment was missing for that, and that indicates some sort of consciousness behind it to do that sort of thing.
Okay. Right, fine. I think I understand now. So you mentioned the serpent. What happened to the serpent? Like, is it gone?
No
is
idea.
It dead? What happened to it?
Don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
As I said, some of it's mythological. It's hard to say how much of this is real or not. I mean, there's some of the myth is either that the unicorn stole the eye of the serpent. Others is that the serpent actually created the unicorn, as in the unicorn and the serpent were like, yin and yang almost type thing.
Another balance system.
A balance that the unicorn came into being to balance out the serpent, but it's all based on myth. The other thing about the unicorn is that, according supposedly that Dworkin, I think his name is, when he stole the eye of the serpent. Now, whether or not that was because the unicorn gave it to him, or it was an object that was in the Courts of Chaos that he made off with, or he actually took it from the serpent, or what, I got no idea. You'd have to ask him if you ever meet him. That he then used that jewel to create the pattern, the original pattern. Now, the other thing about the unicorn is that the previous king of Amber, Oberon, who Random, Fiona, Flora, etc., they are the sons and daughters of Oberon. Oberon's mother was the unicorn.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, but when you consider that people have shape-shifting abilities, especially those in the Courts of Chaos, and Dworkin was from the Courts of Chaos. And it also means that if we are the blood of Amber, we are descended from a unicorn.
Yeah, I gathered that much already.
Yeah. So,
All right, second question.
mhm.
Who or what is Ghostwheel?
Ghostwheel is an entity that is believed to have been created by Merlin. Merlin is the son of Corwin. Corwin was the son of Oberon. Corwin is one of the princes of Amber as such. Ghostwheel was believed to be a computer that was created under special conditions in a certain land using combination of parts of the Logris and parts of the pattern to create a sentient AI that could basically access multiple patterns and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And yeah.
Okay,
So,
and is that AI computer thing in the Last Chance Saloon, or how you get to it via the bridge? Is that Ghostwheel?
no idea. That from what people have said, that bridge and where the pattern is inside Ghostwheel.
It's inside Ghostwheel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Ghostwheel's like what? Like it's an AI, but you can go inside of it. What?
Well, an AI is a machine. An AI
Yeah.
exists in a shape, a form.
Yeah.
So if the form is quite large,
okay. I see.
It's capable of projecting shadows to you or worlds. You know.
yeah.
It's like
So and it was part of our speculation has been is that where we are, this shadow pocket, this shadow was Ghostwheel created it for some purpose. Whether or not it was, for example, Merlin told Ghostwheel to create it because Merlin being created Ghostwheel, or whether or not Ghostwheel created it on itself for some purpose. And as to that purpose, whether or not it is to try and pressure cook people who are the blood of Amber and build us up faster, or to see how people of Amber react, and basically is using us as a mice in a maze type situation and studying us, or there is some other reason. Maybe the Ghostwheel sees a war coming in the future and using us as building us up so that we'll be soldiers capable of dealing with this war, or what? Who knows?
It could be a Merlin plot too.
Exactly. It may not necessarily. That's what I'm saying. Like Merlin might have gotten Ghostwheel to do this as an experiment. Hang on a sec. Got a dog being annoying.
Okay, I have a plan immediately.
I was going to keep asking you questions.
Yeah.
Stephen may be able to answer them anyway.
Okay, I need to discard all them. Discard everything, because fuck my life. And draw one thing compensation.
Don't tell him I said that.
Which what?
Oh, what? Huh?
Wake up.
Huh?
First one.
Ghostwheel's a bitch.
Despite all your rage, you are still just rats in the cage.
Why is this happening to me?
So the problem in Ghostwheel is
Soul Survivor. So everybody discards all their cards except him, who has no
I have
cards.
none anyway.
So yeah.
Oh, come on, really?
I'm sorry.
At least he's getting rid of them early.
I had a big Jim Slate card. I wanted to use it so bad. Damn it.
He still hasn't watched Kentucky Fried Movie yet.
I'll get around to it.
Anyway, the problem with being in Ghostwheel is that if Ghostwheel... Well, the reason why the Gem of Judgment was such a big deal in Ghostwheel was because Ghostwheel could use the Gem of Judgment to rewrite the pattern that was already inside of it, which would then erase all of us because we were inside Ghostwheel, which is something that happened a long time ago. It was super bad. So that's why it was a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of noticed.
Pete,
All right,
discard all your cards. Somebody got a Soul Survivor. Oh, you already read it. Never mind.
Okay. That was that.
I like that he's got questions, though.
My last question is...
It is
So
good to ask questions.
Random has the Gem of Judgment, right?
Yep.
At the
Jewel
moment.
of Judgment. Yep.
And what exactly can you, besides making a pattern like Doc did, what else can this Gem of Judgment do?
Well, there are stories of it controlling weather, controlling time, speeding people up, being able to control other people, possibly other things that are unknown. It's
Okay. And is the Gem of Judgment specifically for pattern only, or can it be used for chaos as well?
don't know.
Okay.
Because it's the Eye of the Serpent. It's quite possible that there is an equivalent gem
To my knowledge,
that
people
balances out.
aligned with chaos or logris cannot touch the Gem of Judgment without extreme discomfort.
Oh, okay.
I suspect because the jewel has a pattern inside it, would indicate that something, either the unicorn did something or Dworkin did something to the jewel that embedded the pattern in it, or maybe it was always there. Who knows? But the fact that there is a pattern inside the jewel would indicate that it is towards the pattern. So as I said, whether or not there's an equivalent, like, that's the left eye of the serpent, there's the right eye of the serpent, which is for the logris, I don't know. I mean, part of the speculation is that when there's been more patterns created, somebody's created more logrises to balance it out.
Yes, that's actually why I'm kind of asking all this, because basically, I spoke with Doc a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned to him that Alex had managed to walk the new pattern without much issue, and he kind of looked a little uneasy about the whole situation, and he basically explained that the more people who walk the pattern, the stronger the pattern in our pocket shadow will become, and that will make it very difficult for him to then balance it out, because basically we need another chaos thing to balance everything out, otherwise the pattern will consume everything. So he said, well, he didn't say, but I surmised that it would be best that no one walks the new pattern until we balance the two out.
I don't know if it'll consume everything. I suspect it'll just be a shift further towards, as in it won't be like, you won't have 50% in the middle between a pattern and a logris. It'll be maybe 70% pattern, 30% logris, or whatever. I don't think it'll be completely all pattern.
I don't know, but
yeah,
he was a little apprehensive about anyone walking it until he manages to, or someone else manages to create a logris.
Which that in itself will be as difficult as creating a pattern. So
yeah. And also the AI where the pattern is, and this just confirms what you already said, really wants people to walk the pattern.
It's interesting, as I said, Ghost Wheel, my understanding is that Ghost Wheel was made from both logris and pattern. So I would think that it would want both, not just a pattern.
Well, every time someone's put their hand on the hand scanner thing, it's basically been like, walk the pattern now, do it now, walk the pattern.
Yeah. So without it talking to us, and I mean, there could be a reason for it, but unless it tells us what its designs are, it's a bit hard for us to work out if we want to help it or not.
All right, well, that's what I wanted to ask and find out.
Well, if anybody ever finds a trump for Ghost Wheel, you can attempt to communicate with it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that?
If you had a trump.
Yeah. And there might be other ways of communicating with it. That's why I tried talking. That's why I spoke out loud inside Ghost Wheel. There's nothing to say that
So
Ghost
wait,
Wheel
what
couldn't
happens
just communicate with me or create its own ghost or something.
if that room is, as you said, the inside of Ghost Wheel? What happens if we made a
According-
trump
that's-
on the inside?
Well, that's according to Doc, that it's the inside of Ghost Wheel.
Oh,
You don't know for
Okay.
sure.
you don't
don't.
know? Okay, fine.
Yeah, don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so whether or not
Fair
it
enough.
is inside Ghost Wheel, I don't know, but but from Doc believed it was inside Ghost Wheel.
My
From
guess is that
other
Merlin
things that
likely
we saw
has
in
a
there.
trump of Ghost Wheel.
I'd be surprised if Merlin does not.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah.
How he communicates with his own creation, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. He would have to have a trump of Ghost Wheel, so he could talk to it.
Cool.
So good luck with that if you find Merlin. He's a
Oh,
great
you
guy.
don't know where he is? Is that an amber or anything? Or
No, he was
Oh.
the. Well,
Definitely not.
well, who knows? Random hasn't stated he's been there, and we haven't met him there. So
He's not banished from there or anything like that, but Merlin's kind of a random kind of guy.
all right. So I have Yin Yang.
There you go.
Everyone discards all their cards and refills their hand.
oh, thank you.
Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah, no. At least we're getting him out. At least we're getting rid of him
Hold
now.
on to some cards and then go.
And I've got fried laptop.
It shows a random laptop explode somewhere. It's like the next one Freddie was thinking about getting to replace all of his other ones and just explodes.
What am I doing? Sorry, I started discarding cards for some stupid reason.
Cool.
I had another.
Alright, so what are we doing today then, fellas?
Trying to take over the world. What we do every
Great.
night. So we were with Doc Fulton investigating a strange happening in Gothic. So it's a question of whether or not we keep investigating that or not.
Or what kind of happening?
A guy was following us. We got him. He had a note on him telling him to kill the thief that took the bracelet, the silver bracelet, and put it into a location. He was watching a particular address. When we checked out the address, everybody at that, all the family members, not the servants, all the family members had been killed. Were inside a room. Somebody barred chained the room from the outside, and they'd all been murdered. By the looking of the wounds, etc., it was a flying shark, like a great white pointer or
what?
something.
No, you heard him
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but that was our analysis by looking at the wounds. The guards thought it was a bit strange to believe as well, but I mean, come on, we're talking about Gothic here, where there's all sorts of weird and wonderful magic.
What, and no one noticed the flying shark just buzzing
Well,
through
it
the
could
city?
have been teleported in there. It could have been a ghost shark that became solid and then did its task and then become insubstantial and disappeared. It could have been, some sort of weird cell transference that happened, putting the shark in something else that could then be projected.
The look on Freddie's face, acceptance. Fine.
Alright, so
Well, it turns
dude
out
we
was-
it turns out this
don't.
family. Go ahead.
Sorry, go. No, go.
All right. So it turns out this family was one of the few elite magic families left, and that everyone except for a single member had been killed. The servants believed it was a rival magic family that had arranged for the murders.
using a flying shark.
Well, magic. That's probably why they assume so. So far we found the remaining family member, Mistress Constance, or I think that's her name.
Yeah, Constance was her name.
Yeah, and she has returned home. She's extremely agitated at the fact that her family was murdered. Seems that she might be seeking some sort of vengeance path. We have not contacted the other magic family, the Loopy family. But we have established ourselves as magic family historians and genealogists, and we work for the Magic Preservation Society. So we have a letter of introduction and all kinds of family history on the Barpo family, which is the ones who were eaten by the shark. So that's where we're at with that, and we still don't know who hired the assassin or why.
Yeah, and we staked out the place where we were supposed to leave the bracelet, and nobody came to check it out. And eventually, cops turned up to check it out because we'd handed the guy over to the cops because people saw us grab him, and so the cops assumably got information out of him about what he was up to. So they went and checked out the hiding place. So we decided to leave that.
So who was he following specifically in the group?
Well, he was looking at the residence of number 6. We went to Mike Hunt's residence, which was near number 6. He saw our communication bracelets, and assumably and believed they were the bracelet that had been stolen. He freaked out a bit because he probably saw that 3 of us had a bracelet on, and he wasn't sure who was the one who stole it. So he started following us and watching us. As to who was after the stolen bracelet, what this bracelet is, we don't know. We checked the bodies that were the parts of the bodies that were still there when we pretended to be people sent to investigate the crime scene.
Forensic doctors or whatever.
Yeah. And there was no indication of any of them wearing a bracelet. But then there was limbs missing and stuff, so it's possible that the bracelet was eaten by the shark. Or it's possible that it was none of them, and it was Constance that had the bracelet. We don't know. Although we've checked when we visited Constance, she was not wearing any bracelet that we could see. That's not to say that she's not the one who has it.
Did you not ask her about the bracelet?
No.
No. It didn't fit the narrative.
It didn't fit the narrative.
Ask her about it.
And she was, there was something a bit off about the way she was acting. She was doing the whole, upper class woman who, has to soldier on type thing.
I'm assuming then
she was doing it. She was playing it a bit hard, but it was quite believable, except for that, Stephen believed that there was nothing
so
a bit
she
off.
didn't react at all when she saw your bracelets? Because I'm assuming you didn't hide them. Okay.
We made no mention of hiding them, and we couldn't tell.
Okay.
She was actually out of town at the time of the murder. She was like 5 days, 3 days by coach, 5 days by horse or walking or whatever, in another town, in a village on the coast surfing. But by the time we got there, after we dealt with trying to stake out the jewelry, the police had already found her and told her about the situation, so she'd already left. So we were 6 days odd behind things because of that.
According to the resort that she was at, or hotel she was at, she didn't have any visitors, and she wasn't traveling with anybody.
Yeah.
Other than the servants. Lots of servants.
Servants, yeah.
But her tan, the thing about her tan is that it wasn't like someone who regularly got a tan, so it wasn't like it's something she did on a regular basis. It was like somebody who got the tan for the first or second time. Yeah, but she had the alibi that she was out of town. The fact that she was surfing and who gets attacked by great white pointers? Surfers. I found an interesting coincidence. Or not. But yes. But maybe there was some sort of ritual or something that she was able to do to cause a shark to be teleported into the room while she was out surfing, because she had some ability, because she had that location set as a waypoint or whatever the term is. I can't remember now because I've lost all that magic. And
A bind point.
A bind point, thank you. And she teleported the shark there or something and did magic to it. Maybe it's a mutant shark that flies, Maybe she caused a Sharknado to occur in the room.
Sharknado. Giving him a card just for Sharknado.
Did you did you use your
Stupid, annoying.
magic seeing glasses at all?
I lost mine.
Oh, okay.
And I've got an equalization.
Oh,
Which one? What did I do?
As Joshua McKay continues to suffer his own personal death by 1,000 cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Freddy on his 27th Spark of Divinity.
I wish I had eggs. Calm down.
I'm just projecting into the future slightly.
All right. Well, yeah. Do you want to go back there and have a look?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's worth continuing investigating, to be perfectly honest, because nobody's hired us to do it. Besides curiosity, I'm not sure what other reason we would continue looking into this. We're certainly not doing it on an official basis.
So why did you look into it in the first place?
Because of the bracelet. The more we looked into it, it was sort of
okay.
The bracelet's description matched the description of our communicators. Whether that was coincidental or we're not sure yet.
Does anyone else in Gothic have a bracelet? Did you give someone one?
Not I.
Negative.
Wait a minute.
Why we were poking at it because we weren't sure.
Wait a minute. What if it was those two fuckwits, Tom and Brian or whatever their names was? The two military people.
Well, where would they have got? They didn't have a bracelet last time I saw them.
They don't have bracelets?
Not that any of us noticed. I don't believe. I mean, last I heard, they were messing around in MMO land.
Yeah, they were
somehow. Yeah. But that in itself, I'm curious how they got to MMO land when they were last in Beastskin. But and I'll have to get rid of that. That puts me down to 3 from the thing.
The other thing is, that it's high magic, so there's potential there to uncover new spells or exposure to that. If we're curious about that particular thing.
Yeah. Question for you, Logan. Yes. I have obscure knowledge, which is +1% permanent increase to any skill players desired.
Mm-hmm.
So can that be a skill that I don't currently know?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just what I check.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you know Trump's right?
No, I don't. Nobody's been able to teach me it.
Oh, yeah.
It is impossible for him to learn. The Obed spirit keeps
That's pretty much why I was asking, because
I fumbled mine.
I would use that to get trials.
What if I teach Doc Yang and he teaches you?
That would definitely help keep the yang up.
I don't know if Doc Yang has walked. Doc, have you walked?
Have you walked
Doc Yang? Have you walked the pattern? I don't believe he has. So you cannot teach him that.
Wow, he's at a huge disability now because everybody likes to use their trump cards a lot, and he can't.
Oh, yeah, we abuse them like no end.
Yeah, it might be worth getting them on the pattern. Say, you know what? There is a pattern really conveniently close.
No, not that one. We're not using that one.
Well, the other one, I mean, people have been told to fuck off from, so.
Oh, the hell.
Yeah. Just wanted to put that out there, just, as an aside.
Well, look, if you want to walk it, we can take you there, but.
I mean, yeah, he definitely, desperately needs to walk it. Well, no, I'm just saying because these guys use the trump cards kind of the way you use underwear daily.
I know, but my concern is the imbalance. But
I think your main concern would be the fact that you may not be strong enough to walk it yet.
That's true.
That would be my concern if I was you.
Ah, he's fine. He'll be fine.
That's originally what my concern was I did not feel prepared.
Look, if wrestling on day one can walk it,
After
you'll be
dying.
No, no.
Dying.
Raslin did not walk the pattern.
Actually,
He walked
did.
the pattern in the duel, which is different to the pattern. It is easier to walk the pattern in the duel than it is to walk the normal pattern. So,
Wait, what?
sorry to correct, but yes.
no.
Yes.
No.
No,
Yes.
it was exactly the same difficulty as a regular pattern. Making the pattern was a bitch.
Walking, it was against 60, not 80, walking the
No,
pattern
it
in
was
the duel.
against 80s. Unless I
I
fucked up my calculations.
You-
It's supposed to be against 80s.
Oh, you had me and you had Raslin do it against 60. Because it
Did
was
I?
the pattern in the duel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no, I think you're mistaken. But yeah,
Okay.
in a year, you can listen to the playback and correct me
Yeah.
if you wish.
But yes, because
In a
that's the thing.
year,
Is
I'm happy to admit that I was wrong.
Well,
a year
all I
ago.
know is it's the same difficulty as the other one.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
But either way, Raslin did make some amazing rolls, considering
Yeah,
he
he
had
did.
just died and then came back and then walked pattern, which,
That fucking guy, man, I swear.
oh yeah, he's on fire. Not literally yet.
No, that's my job.
Yes, your job is to light him on fire.
Yeah,
So
no,
there you go.
I have not watched Pattern yet, and I was dubious about doing so.
It's up to you. I'm not gonna pull a Mildred and peer pressure you into doing it. You decide if you're gonna do it.
But it was for the best that she did that, and you have
I
evolved.
fucking hate her.
So good. Some good peer pressure too.
So, while Doc ponders on his imminent demise, what did you do with the white dove, Joshua? Specifically?
Nothing. Just made an agreement to purchase it for 100,000 silver.
So it's ours now, then, right?
Not yet. Money has not changed
paid
hands.
for it.
Got to pay for it. Got to sign the documentation for it.
Well, let's go do that then.
No, we're gonna send Raslin to go do that.
Oh, okay.
However,
Yeah.
wrestling
He was
doesn't have access.
requested.
Well, I was gonna say you guys have already done unfortunately you've already done the bargaining unless
Yeah.
I had to send wrestling for that too because
Yeah, that's right. I just wanted to get it done and dusted and move on. But yeah, so
Raston will do it. Okay.
well, signed the paperwork, but he doesn't have access to the funds, so it's going to be a bit hard for him. Currently, does
Well,
not have
then
access.
you
to
just
funds.
go do it. What's the big deal?
We don't have enough money.
Yeah, I've got the money.
Oh, we do now. I thought you didn't have it.
I didn't have enough money to buy it when it was 175,000 silver.
Now that's only 100,000. You have enough.
Yes, I do barely.
Because what I'm thinking is after you buy it, we turn it into something that'll generate money rather than as before, where we just
Yeah,
throw
but
money
there's
at it.
lots of issues with that, such as who's going to run it. You know, there's the issue of people having access to our sections of the
Well,
place.
that's what I'm saying. We don't use the white dove as our base.
Then why
It's
buy
just
it?
for money generation. Passive income.
I think it'll take a long time for it to make the money that we've sunk into it.
So why buy it in the first place then? If we're
For a
just gonna
base of
keep throwing
operations
money.
that we can eventually upgrade, that we can have a good base of operations in Gothic that is a full magic zone that we can then use for things like making magic items, once used for artificing.
Fair enough.
That was like Alex, myself, and Doc were talking about a while ago. Was eventually we were contemplating buying it and and upgrading it sufficiently so we could do that.
Okay.
As a side note, if you were to buy it, then tear it down and rebuild it in stone, then you can make it almost like a mini fortress. And best of all, if it's all stone and brick and stuff like that, Freddie would have a very rough time burning that fucker to the ground.
Well, that was part of the upgrade path, was turning it into stone.
Yeah,
turning into a stone building.
It's already half torn down now, so I mean you're close.
All right. Well.
Yeah. So the problem in regards to having it be something to make money is, the issues of, finding someone to rent it, finding someone who's going to rent it and be able to generate money from it.
I'm sure wrestling can do something about that.
But also, if you have a look at what the common, all right, say for example, it's a theatre.
Right.
How often do people go to the theatre?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Say people go twice a year. Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
3 times a year.
All right, fine.
I mean,
Maybe
they might go more often because movies don't exist anymore, TV doesn't exist anymore. So theatre is the best form of entertainment nowadays. So it would be a lot more than that in Gothic. I was thinking about current times. Then you've got the thing of how much do people get charged a ticket, and then what percentage of that, and what percentage would we get of that?
All right.
If you look at again, then it would have to be revamped because it was originally set up for like a.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was thinking we could make it an officers club. For the new militarized government. Not only would it provide, sort of a
default security.
Yeah, but it would give us potential insight on things that are happening at a governmental level.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
With the right people.
Yeah, that's actually that's an interesting concept. If we can get the right people to run it and the right people involved in it.
Just as a side note, if you guys are doing that, I don't want to hear any bitching and whining about spreadsheets and business and shit like that.
Yeah, it's Reslin's problem. Freddie, sorry, I should say that's Freddie and Reslin's problem because Freddie's the one that wants to set up a business.
Oh,
I just don't want to throw.
Already have spreadsheets.
Look, I'm not saying we need to do it in Gothic, but at the moment, the only like not even passive income is the embassy that we have set up.
Yes.
So we need more sources of.
I don't disagree with you. It's the challenge has always been getting a source of income that will generate money that we don't have to then spend all our time doing it.
Yeah.
And that's always been a hard challenge.
Especially
spice.
Spice.
Well, I mean, look, the spice is kind of it.
I mean, part of the issue is when you consider how many worlds we've lost access to, or things have happened that we used to have access to, or been invaded and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Beastkin originally was a safe haven. Nobody else seemed to know about it, but other Doras have now turned up. So, which means we're going to get more and more Doras turning up, which puts Beastkin at risk of being a safe haven for us. So.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, as I said, I don't disagree with if we could work out a way of having it set up so that, and potentially if we rip it down and rebuild it or build it based on the framework, we could split it so that you've got part of it which is our quarters and have it completely separate from the officers club section. That way we don't have to worry about people in the officers club, be it the staff or whatever, wandering into our personal quarters and
having sex in your bed.
We can make them underground or something.
Yeah, a basement or something.
If somebody
chamber carved out in there.
If somebody wanted to map it out and shit, I'd be happy to let them go with that too. Yeah.
And by map, Logan doesn't mean an actual floor plans. It means like a bubble map or something.
I'd be happy with a bubble map. If somebody really wants to do an actual floor plan, they could do that as well. I'm open for whatever. Because there was talk about having different crafting stations and shit in there, you know, and forges and herbalist stations and
So
Freddy's room where he lights
that
fires.
reminds me. There's a +10 chemistry lab in Beastkin now.
okay.
If anyone wants to use that.
Yeah, please be sure to make a note of that somewhere. If you need more notes and stuff, let me know. I'll make them.
You know, while we're discussing all this, Jason has posted in the forums talking about the white tub and what we can do with it and how big it is. And
I love him.
He's
almost like he's been listening into our conversation.
I need to read this. Hold on.
Build out a really secure basement with some storerooms and workspace. He has been listening, almost like he's been listening in with what we're saying.
That is freaky.
That is very freaky.
10 minutes ago, he posted that.
I know.
Wow. So there you go. Apparently, Wrestling Rad has some sort of psychic shit going on.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What you need, he can get.
Well, can we at least get it secured, like you said, so that Wrestling can then start to do.
So what I was thinking is that we move across some funds today as a down payment, just to secure, just as a secure deposit type thing, just to show that. I mean, I think Mike trusts us enough to think that we're not going to dig him over. But just so that if, depending on how much time we spend doing other stuff, and then what I'll do is I'll organise that there will be funds put aside that you and Razzle and Freddie can then take to Mike Hunt and then finalise the paperwork and pay the final funds.
Sure. Just let me know what I need to do and I'll do it.
So Logan, I will go and seek out. Actually, no.
Also, real quick, if we're going via Clems,
Hey, he's trying to make a break for it. You get him though.
I want to just check the notepad that I left a while ago. Is it changed at all?
We're in the embassy at the moment. We haven't left the embassy.
I mean, if we're going via Clems.
Mention it when you get there, because I'm hoping to distract you so that you forget.
I put on a blindfold and I don't see anything.
I will, I don't know, is there a drawstring, a bell?
Yes, there is a bell pull cord nearby.
If I can reach it, I'll pull it. If I can't reach it, I'll ask one of these two to pull it.
No problem. You notice McKay sitting in a wheelchair. I thought I should point that out.
Oh. Wait.
Haven't fixed your feet yet.
Oh, I didn't notice you were in a wheelchair. Sorry about that. What happened?
It's called When Shape Changing Goes Horribly Wrong.
Can't you just undo it?
I would like to eventually, yes. But you can only attempt shape changing once a day.
Do you need me to wheel you around, Joshua?
Pretty much.
Alright.
It shows him like trying to reach a bell cord. Somebody else pulls it for him. One of the servants comes in and he bows and he says, yes, Ambassador.
Could you please ask Foxy if she's got a moment?
Very good, sir.
Thank you.
Heads off. I believe Foxy is a cat-headed lady, by the way. She comes in.
Okay. I had no idea what you said you couldn't recall yesterday, so.
No, it came back to me. I was having weird-ass dreams last night. And
anyway. Sure I want to know what sort of dreams you're having about cat women.
Anyway, yeah, it's not my thing, but yeah, weird. Anyway, right, Foxy comes in and says, "Yes, Ambassador."
I've made some arrangements to
She looks
purchase
at
a
the
property.
wheelchair. She looks at your giant fucking feet that are covered. She's like,
Industrial
Yes.
"Oh,
Well, yeah, that's close to it.
poor
I've
thing."
organised for the purchase of a property.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to take some of the funds to put down deposit today. Sometime in the near future, I'm not sure when, as things are a bit fluid. Raslin, Red, and Freddie will take the remaining funds. So I want to organise that you will give them access to that funds.
Very good, sir. How much exactly?
So the total cost is going to be 1,428 gold.
She
So-
laughs at you.
So I'm thinking if we take, say, 400 gold today and pay and put that,
So
give that to my-
1,100 tomorrow.
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. Very good, sir.
yeah, so 1,100 tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow.
Or not necessarily tomorrow, as I said, in the near
Yeah.
future. I'm not sure when Raslin Rad is next here. He's off doing other things at the moment. As I'd like him to.
Brad did say hello to you, by the way.
He is a nice boy, she says.
But yes, so yes, if you could give them access to the 1,100 gold to then finalise and start making other arrangements.
She curtsies. Anything else, Ambassador?
No, that's it off the top of my head at this moment. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything? Sorry, did you have any questions, or is there anything you needed me assistance with?
No, sir. I'll send in somebody right away to push your wheelchair for you.
Okay, thank you.
She exits.
Okay.
Josh, question.
Yes.
Is there any reason why we don't just buy it straight up, or do you want Raslin and I to
Because
build
I
it
want
up with the
Raslin and
remaining
you to
money?
make sure especially Raslin, since he has the business acumen, to make sure the documentation, etc., is up to scratch
Okay.
and all that sort of thing.
Okay. Documentation.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
You may find something too and be like, hey, this is broken, so we get a discount. And then all of a sudden it's cheaper. Who knows?
Yeah. So basically allow him to do his magic as such.
He is wrestling rad.
To see, he may work out some interesting loopholes or something based on circumstances that not necessarily. I'm not too concerned about whether or not we get it cheaper, but potentially that, especially if we say we're looking at doing an officers club, to organise something with the city so that the yearly tax is going to be cheaper, as an example.
Right. That's true. I never thought about that. They might cut us a break for being of service to the government.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
it's probably going to take several months to get the establishment up and going anyway.
so wait, Mr. Hunt owns it, right?
Currently, yes. We had a lease basically of the place forevermore.
Is it okay? So he owns it. It's private.
Yes.
It's not government owned or anything.
No, it's private.
Okay.
And then transfer of funds, and then I will own it permanent going forward.
Okay.
Now, and then yes, so we can look at building up like officers club. I think might be an interesting thing to explore. So that could be something for you and Raslin to explore.
Mm-hmm.
Is looking into doing an officers club.
A fox-headed guy comes in and goes, and he stands discreetly in the corner. He's dressed in servant livery.
Yeah, so that's potentially what we can do. Excuse me. From what you're saying, there's several vehicles in the compound, which that's part of the thing I want to Raslin, because I don't know if Mike is aware of those vehicles for a start, or if he is aware of the vehicles, if he intends to say, oh, and the vehicles I'll be taking back, or if Raslin Rad can do stuff so that we get the all the contents into place.
Mm-hmm.
two monkey-headed guys come in and begin messing with the ambassador's chair and installing things on it.
So, so we can, so that's just a couple of things we need to, so we can do that.
You can tell the ambassador.
And we may be able to, depending on the vehicles, we can potentially sell some of those off, and then that we can use that funds to assist in the rebuilding, refurbishing of the White Dove.
Okay.
Especially because the batteries, for example, in the flying cars, batteries only last 2 months, and then you got to replace the battery. So potentially, depending on how long it's been sitting there, they could have flat batteries, and they may need to be recharged or replaced, which we don't have any skill with doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whereas
I don't really
ground vehicles have longer, but having depending on the volume, having some ground vehicles and flying cars will be useful at our disposal, considering the amount of them we've gone through and are left out in the wilderness in various locations.
Also, did you ever, or did anyone ever? No, I guess they didn't. The quizzes in MMO that no one figured out how to use them to charge anything.
Not as yet. They've been looking into it, but I don't think anybody's worked it out. Especially since most of their magi disappeared when they went looking for the source of magic.
Yeah. The monkey-headed guys pat the ambassador on the shoulder, nod to him, and it looks like he has a couple different pouches. It looks like there's a umbrella holder on the back of the chair and an umbrella in a pouch and stuff like that. They then leave, and the fox-headed guy waits.
So yeah.
Servants come in and out all the time when around the ambassador. He doesn't even stop talking or notice. It's like, I'm used to this.
So anyway, so the question is, I suppose, do we want to keep investigating this thing with the bracelet? Do we not care about it because, besides out of curiosity, and it could actually get us involved in trouble with a couple of powerful families, which might screw us over further in Gothic?
Lemonade is brought.
I have a question for you.
Thank you.
If I was to use, say, the workshop in Beastkin, and I got one of the spare bracelets, would I be able to use it to track anyone else wearing an unencrypted bracelet?
No idea.
I'm asking Logan.
Oh, sorry.
They don't have that kind of stuff in them. I'm not saying you couldn't get something like that, but you don't have that kind of stuff. And also the bracelets don't have it'd be like trying to install another fan into a laptop that's already full of shit.
Oh, just remove the old fan, put the new one in.
I'll be right back.
What?
Okay. I mean, just remove the old fan, put a new one in. That kind of thing.
I mean, without getting rid of anything that's already in there.
Yeah.
In other words, the bracelet is tiny and full of lots of electronic goodness. Plus some other weird shit.
You wouldn't necessarily replace stuff in there. You would build a device that the bracelet plugs into or plugs into the bracelet to leverage the bracelet. You wouldn't make a bracelet that's a tracking. You would build a device to.
For tracking stuff, it'd be tricky because normally tracking is on satellites and stuff, and honestly, Freddie isn't even sure what makes the bracelet work.
The fact that these are interdimensional, interzone,
and work in magic and non-magic,
and exactly, and work in both magic and non-magic is in and on itself is an interesting thing about these bracelets.
I'm not even sure Freddie's had them open before.
Not open, but I've.
So,
them,
I mean,
yeah, encrypting is one thing, but I mean, actually cracking it open and going.
You may find that they don't have hard electronics in them. It could be goo inside them. It could be some sort of nanotechnology running through goo, some sort of goo matrix interface.
Goo.
Yeah, nobody's attempted to pull them apart and see what makes them tick.
Has anyone asked XO23?
Nope, not that I'm aware of. You could try.
Nobody loves XO.
Okay, well, I
And
suppose
we
we can
need to try and
out.
get. We might need to get some more bracelets off him as well because we're
Yeah,
running
we only
short.
have one left, I think. Yeah.
So if we have new
Okay,
people turn up
we
or
need
other
to trade
people
some stuff.
lose their bracelets, we'll need to get more
Yeah.
bracelets to replace them.
We need to get something to trade him. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, wires and bolts
Yep.
and stuff.
Yep.
Um,
When Steve gets back from visiting the chamber pot, the lavatory,
There's a guy holding a bucket, and he's like inexpertly trying to hit it. Very good, sir. Stop talking and make it go back up.